No, we're saying that if you're an ICE agent and you do these things, we think you ought to be held accountable. And yet no one in Washington, no one above them, no supervisor, no inspector general is holding anybody accountable. There literally haven't been any suspensions or firings for the terrible things that they've done, literally grabbing people, tackling them when they're U.S. citizens and have done zero wrong.
Unbelievable. Democrats like Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker are pushing on their view to demonize ICE agents, taking his comments coming after Nancy Pelosi threatened to up the ante against ICE, saying, quote, "Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. We will not be intimidated by politically motivated fear tactics." Here to respond is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Deputy Attorney General, thanks so much for joining the program. Let's go specifically to Nancy Pelosi. Local agents, local cops cannot arrest federal agents, right?
Of course they can. And what the Congresswoman did yesterday, what the governor of Illinois said yesterday, does nothing but harm this country. You cannot touch federal agents when they're doing their job, and that's something that they know. It's something that we reminded them of last night, because if you do, you're committing a crime. And the amazing thing about what happened is yesterday President Trump announced and formally launched the Homeland Security Task Force. This is, in our modern history, the single largest effort by law enforcement to combat narco-terrorists and to get the scourge and the drug dealers out of this country. In just 60 days, we've arrested over 3,200 drug dealers and either gotten them out of this country or put them in jail. On that same day, you have Pelosi, you have other congresswomen, you have a congressman from New York, and you have the governor of Illinois not praising that, not thanking President Trump, but saying that federal law enforcement agents should be arrested. That's the best example of the difference between what this administration is doing and what the Democrats want done. And it's sad, and I feel bad for our federal law enforcement and their families and their wives and their husbands and their children when their mom goes to work every day putting their life on their line, and they have governors and leaders in the Democrat Party suggesting they should be arrested.
He didn't
That's
just
disgusting.
say that, Todd. He didn't just talk about them being arrested. He said that they were racially profiling. Let's watch that.
I think they ought to take the violent criminals and get them out of my state and get them out of the country. I absolutely believe that, but that's not what they're doing. They said they were going after the worst of the worst. We want the bad guys off the streets. What we don't want is for people to get racially profiled. That's what's happening right now. They're racially profiling people who are black and brown, and they're demanding their papers. Are you a U.S. citizen? Prove it. I don't think Americans should have to do that.
The people leading the force on the ground through Border Patrol right now, they're 51% Hispanic. Do you take umbrage with what he just said?
In a deep and meaningful way. Our law enforcement officers are not violating the Constitution and doing their job. And that governor, instead of talking on the news and making up stories about what he thinks is happening, should stand a post. He should go out and go out for one night and see the work that these men and women are doing. And he'll learn and he'll understand that what they are doing is getting the scourge and the people that are here illegally out of this country. And look, this has happened in California already earlier this year. These false claims that our ICE agents, that our federal law enforcement officers are somehow racial profiling or doing the wrong thing in executing and doing their jobs. And courts have said that we're right and the Democrats are wrong. We're not doing that. And that's going to continue to happen for sure.
Well, you're also taking on the cartel. And there's all these legal pundits talking about these operations, but it's undeniable. The border is secure, and you guys are taking the threats out of the sea, right?
It's another example of the difference between what President Trump, Attorney General Bondi, and all of our law enforcement partners are doing, including the Secretary of War, and what the Democrats apparently want done. We are saying we're going to stop the flow of drugs that have been happening in this country for generations. We're going to get them out, and we're going to stop them from coming in. The borders are closed, and that's what we're doing every day. And you would expect the leaders of this country to say, thank you, how can we help? And instead what you have is exactly the opposite. And it's something that we're going to continue to do. And it's something that the American people expect us to do. It's what President Trump said he would do. And it's what Attorney General Bondi, it's what I'm doing. It's what all the leaders in this administration are doing every day. And it's working. And we're not going to stop.
Yeah, I want to be on the side of the people that are killing the people that have killed all of our teens in the hundreds of thousands because of the fentanyl. I want to be on that side of history. Todd Blanche, thank you so much for joining the program.